Welcome to our video for High Leverage Practice number 1, Collaborating with Colleagues to Increase Student Success. The primary source for content in this video is Chapter 1 by Marilyn Friend and Tammy Barron in the High Leverage Practice in Special Education book published by CEC and the Cedar Center. There are 22 high leverage practices for special education spread across 4 domains. High Leverage Practice number 1, Collaborating with Colleagues to Increase Student Success, falls under the collaboration domain. This video is organized into 2 parts. First, we describe collaboration and prioritize related communication skills special educators should acquire. Second, we provide suggestions for implementing effective collaboration techniques within co-teaching and paraprofessional relationships. Part 1, Introduction to Collaboration. HLP 1 is one of the most essential practices to master because it is used every single day regardless of grade level, content area, or disability status of students. The effective special educator who collaborates well with colleagues is in strong position to also collaborate with families, which is HLP number 3, and run effective meetings so quality programming can be decided upon and then implemented, which is HLP number 2. In addition, collaboration is essential to implementing essentially all of the assessment, social behavioral, and instruction HLPs. In sum, this is the first high leverage practice for a very good reason. It is very easy for professionals working in schools to take collaboration for granted. Obviously, teachers and other staff see and speak to one another on a regular basis, which can give the illusion that collaboration is happening. However, as noted by Friend and Barron, interaction alone does not constitute collaboration. True collaboration requires intention, effort, and skill on the part of the professionals, and it should result in positive outcomes for all parties, especially those students with disabilities and others who struggle. A key aspect of successful collaboration is mutual respect between partners and team members. Respect goes beyond simple admiration or friendly interactions. Respect implies that team members recognize and honor the contributions of their colleagues and do their best to ensure consensus is reached whenever possible based on various viewpoints. Respectful team members also use data to communicate with one another and make decisions to ensure student performance is the primary determinant for making changes. Using data in this way puts all team members on the same footing regardless of experience, and can be used when inevitable disagreements between collaborators arise. In addition to respect, communication is foundational for successful collaboration, and a great way for respect to be shown and earned between team members. There are several communication skills that special educators should develop to promote collaboration. The first is listening. Nonverbal affirmations, such as nodding, can demonstrate active listening while the speaker is sharing. Once the speaker is done sharing, paraphrasing demonstrates the listener understood what the partner was conveying. The next needed skill is nonverbal communication. Nonverbal actions can suggest attitude and emotion in any face-to-face interaction, including virtual spaces. For example, facial expressions in person or on a video conference may suggest a range of emotions on a given topic. It is important for educators to monitor their nonverbal communication to suggest collaborative emotions such as respect, flexibility, and understanding. Educators should also do their best to ask questions that are objective and open-ended. If a question is framed objectively, This can reduce subjectivity or judgment that might influence a response. To ensure responses to questions contain more than just yes or no, it is important to ask open-ended questions. For example, consider a special educator asking a general educator, "Have you done a better job at supporting John in math class since we last spoke?" This is judgmental towards the general educator and might result in a short response. A better way to ask this might be, "How has John's math work completion changed since we started intervention last week?" Similarly, statements should be accurate and descriptive to ensure clear communication. Detailed, specific statements lead to productive conversations. Finally, it's important to note cultural differences when communicating. By accounting for and respecting cultural differences and using these communication skills, special educators can communicate effectively and collaborate well with other professionals. In this short clip, watch how co-teachers Amber Benson and Ruby Voss and English language specialist Sally Weiss have a productive planning conversation and reference recent data to back up their decisions. Pay attention to how they communicate verbally and non-verbally with one another, and how they're open to new ideas and perspectives being presented.
Okay, we've been talking about a lot about what we've been doing in class, but is there something that you believe we could do to help your kids? What else could we do in our classroom to help them?
I think specifically just practicing. I know especially with what I've noticed with word problems, teaching them to pull the math out. I mean, I think that's just something that would take practice time and time again. And then when they see those words, having them like show it, I think it would almost become like a daily practice, like fitting in that vocab somewhere every day.
Okay.
Just so that they continually see it. And almost like make it, I don't know, if we could make it into like a brain teaser kind of thing or some sort of challenge, like just to get them.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah. Just to continually pull from it. Because I think when they have the numbers there, they can plow through, especially if we put it in Desmos. But then when they hit that wall of like, okay, there's words that I don't know.
And it's like, okay, so yesterday in stations, when we took an inequality word problem, which is impossible. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's like hard. But we didn't do it like based on the word problem. We used like pictures to figure it out, and all the kids were super successful with it. And then I showed them the word problem, and they were like,
right.
But they had already solved it.
Good.
But we just didn't. We just picked out what
I
we
know I
needed.
pulled one from the 8th grade as well that was when we were explaining the different types of math. And it was words for ratios. And I was like, you don't even need all these words. I was like, you just need to know what a ratio is and what they're trying to get at as far as the numbers.
But that's interesting. So, I mean, that worked with those students. Maybe we could look at, well, it'll help obviously. Maybe we could look at trying to put things like that in for every, word, not every one,
Not
but
every
at
word
least
problem.
one.
But if we could do something, and I don't know, if we're being realistic, I don't know. Well, it wouldn't be daily to begin with, but maybe we could throw in something like digital, and
Right.
they could kind of,
Maybe right?
yeah.
That would work.
Mhm.
Okay,
But
definitely.
if it's, you're right, if it's concrete, that's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Picking out just the important parts, it's a lot easier.
We'll definitely work on that for you.
Oh, thank you.
In sum for part 1, collaboration is essential, but it takes work. Paying attention to how one communicates with teaching partners and other professionals throughout the day and year comes easy for some, but it's very hard for others. It is important for all educators to reflect on how their verbal and nonverbal messages are being interpreted by colleagues, and then make improvements or adjustments if needed. Part 2, collaboration in co-teaching and working with paraprofessionals. Co-teaching occurs when a general educator and special educator, or other combinations, collaborate in a classroom on delivering curriculum and/or meeting the needs of students with disabilities. The first co-teaching approach is station teaching. This is when students work in 3 or more groups, 2 led by teachers, and 1 or more that require independent student work. The second co-teaching approach is parallel teaching. In this approach, students are broken into groups. Each teacher simultaneously covers the same material or varies presentation to accommodate students' diverse learning needs. The third approach is alternate teaching. This is where one teacher works with most of the students, the other instructs a small group for remediation, enrichment, or another instructional purpose. The fourth approach is team teaching. This approach involves the two teachers jointly delivering instruction to the entire class. The fifth approach is one teach, one observe. In this approach, one teacher delivers instruction, while the other observes and collects targeted data. The sixth approach is one teach, one assist. Here, one teacher instructs the class, while the other provides individual supports to students. Any or all of these approaches may be used. However, station teaching, parallel teaching, and alternate teaching are the three co-teaching approaches recommended for frequent use during instruction. Additionally, co-teaching responsibilities are not limited to instruction and meeting student needs, but could include responsibilities such as classroom organization, completion of paperwork, parent communication, and other tasks. It's important for co-teachers to communicate responsibility for tasks and roles early on. Another way collaboration with colleagues occurs is through special educators working with paraprofessionals. While their specific tasks can vary, generally, paraprofessionals provide physical, behavioral, and academic supports to students. While the support paraprofessionals provide can significantly impact students' academic experiences, it's important to note that paraprofessionals are not solely responsible for academic outcomes. Special educators are often responsible for managing paraprofessionals. This can be challenging, especially for early career special educators, especially if that colleague has been part of the school community for a long time. To utilize the support of paraprofessionals effectively, special educators should balance being collaborative and being directive with paraprofessionals. They should also use the listening, communication, and respect skills noted in the first part of this video, the same as they would with any co-teaching partner. It is important that special educators clearly communicate expectations with paraprofessionals. When communicating, it's crucial that special educators maintain positive, collaborative relationships. Using the recommended communication skills from earlier in the video, along with a blend of collaboration and direction, should help foster positive outcomes. Administrators can help provide support if there's difficulty communicating with paraprofessionals. In summary, collaboration is central to the role of the special educator. Effective communication skills are fundamental to effective collaboration. This video focused on how special educators collaborate with other colleagues, including through use of other high-leverage practices from the assessment, social behavioral, and instruction domains. When co-teaching is happening effectively, general and special education teams, along with related service providers and other professionals in the school, create an impactful partnership that positively affects student outcomes. More information about High Leverage Practice Number 1 can be found at highleveragepractices.org. Thanks for watching, and please look for other videos in this series on high leverage practices.